Hello, Santoya.
Hello.
Hi. Hi, Professor Jen. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Good, thank you.
Let me put on my video so you can see what's going on. There I am. Oh my God.
Hey. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, we got some people coming in. Yay, Dula Khan,
Hi,
Heymanah.
how are you?
Hi. You're in your car. You're not driving, are you?
No, I parked.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm going to get started.
Camping really hard, bro.
Was that? Is that Heymanah? Was somebody? No, Heymanah, you're muted. In case you want to say something, you're muted out.
Hi,
There he is.
everyone.
Hi, Heymanah.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, I'm going to get started. I just want to congratulate everybody for getting through the semester. We've only got 1 week to go. And as I mentioned this morning in the email that I sent out, anything can come in up until December 18th. And that means any of your, revisions or any late work that you want to turn in. I want to give everybody that I possibly can an A in the class. So if you want to try to improve your grade, go ahead and turn in anything that you want that you think is going to improve your grade, including extra credit. But I did want to, and if anybody has a question, make sure you chime in. Just speak up and I'll deal with your question. I did want to talk a little bit about the 2 remaining assignments that we've got. And the first one is that film essay, which is a compare and contrast essay. And it's kind of a tricky thing. And I'm going to share my screen because there's a really great handout um, that I've got available to you guys on the organizational structure for a compare and contrast essay. And it is, if I scroll down, don't get dizzy, how to write a compare and contrast essay. And I say, check it out. And that's the link to it. It's a really good handout on writing a compare and contrast essay. How to organize it is the tricky thing. Whether you do, you're going to have to bring in both source material and you're going to connect those up to some sort of a thesis. And that thesis you're going to have to select so that you can bring in support from both the different films, both Mudbound and 13th. Now, so I want you to check this out. I want you to make sure that you check out this and make sure that you're focusing in on the different organizational structure, which is really kind of tricky here. And it's going to be a 2 or 3 page essay, so it's not as long as other things that you've written. So your paragraphs are going to be shorter, your introduction is going to be shorter, conclusion is going to be shorter. Everything is going to be proportional to a shorter essay. But one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is your thesis statement. Has anybody seen Mudbound yet? You guys, you've seen it? What did you think of it, Santoya?
Well, I actually watched it like a couple years ago, or whenever it first came out.
Oh,
And so I was
really?
watching the 13th first before I watched that because I feel like I already have an idea of it. I thought it was really brilliant. I can already have an idea of like some of the themes that are very similar. But yeah, I loved it. I loved the performances. I thought, it was a beautiful, tragic story. I really enjoyed it.
Right.
For what it was.
Good. The thing that struck me about a potential thesis statement for that movie, and you'd probably want to try to come up with a thesis from the film rather than from 13th, which is a documentary, because the documentary is kind of all over the place. And you're going to have to draw in a Mudbound to sort of draw out that whatever your thesis is. The theme that occurred to me related to is kind of embedded in the title, Mudbound. Because that title is really pretty interesting, and it's in a sense it's kind of mysterious unless you kind of think about it. Does anybody have any ideas on how what I might be thinking of in terms of how Mudbound might be able to provide us with a way to go with our thesis statement? Anything come to mind?
I think that it kind of talks about how a hierarchy is created, and one race is literally bound for the mud or the lower, you know, level.
Sort of stuck in the mud, right? Because that's the bound part, right? So another way to think of it, and I like that, is because what does mud kind of resemble? What color is it? It's kind of dark. It's kind of brown. It's kind of black, right? It's so you might think of the mud part as being race, and the bound part as being stuck. So as a society, we're in a sense kind of stuck in this whole idea of our connection to race or our obsession with races. Like some of the people that we've been reading throughout the semester talk about the United States is obsessed with race. And so in a sense, we've been stuck in race ever since we created it. And we can't seem to extricate ourselves from it. The more we try to get away from it, the more we kind of get mired in it. Like, you know, we thought we were getting away with it with Obama, and then we got Trump, and then we got stuck back in it. And so that's another way of thinking of it. And you could draw in some elements with the whole idea of being stuck in the concept of race. But of course, you guys can think of your own way to come up with a thesis statement. And then once you have a thesis statement, then you have to find a way to support it from both of the different source material, and bring in both of those source materials in each paragraph with support as best you can in the form of you know, dialogue or descriptions of scenes, or with 13th, you bring in, you know, quotations from it, and so on. So that's kind of what I was thinking about in terms of the film essay. Any concerns or questions on the essay, the film essay?
Can I ask a question? As I was watching the 13th, I thought about the legal aspect of it, and I just wanted to know if that was okay. I know that there's like from what I remember, a law enforcement person in Mudbound, and there's just like a set of laws that only applies to the Black population in that film as well.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if I could sort of draw in those comparisons between the 13th.
Absolutely. If you find some sort of commonality like that you can, you know, draw through a number of different scenes and then draw through 13th, that sounds like a great idea.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So the last thing we need to work on is we need to work on our final exam. So the final exam, whoops, going too far, is, you know, asks you, what did you learn in English 1A? So I want you to write a minimum of 2 complete pages in it. And when I used to teach this face-to-face, I would do a brainstorming with the class, and I would ask you, you know, what did you learn in the class? And so everybody would start offering different things that they'd learned in the class, and I put that list up on the board, and then you'd have something to work from. Now that we're doing it online, we've got a great cheat sheet with the shell itself, because everything that we learned is sort of listed in the shell. So you can go through that shell, and you can, you know, figure out how you're going to organize what you learned this semester into paragraphs. What I want everybody to know is that it doesn't really have to be a thesis-based thing. It's not like a regular essay. It's more like kind of like a report. But I do want you to have some sort of paragraph structure with it. I don't want to see a 1 paragraph, 2-page thing. It's gotta, you know, I want you to divide up what you learned in the class into some sort of an organizational structure. You know, like, you know, what you learned in essays, the certain things you learn with regards to essays, and other things that you learn with regards to the summary, and you know, divide it up into, you know, sentence combining things, and certain, some of you might have done some of the grammar stuff. Certainly the reading content that we had, and you know, how to read and annotate. So, you know, whatever you do, I want you to put it in, and, you know, you can critique the class, and maybe you learn something about, you know, taking an online course. So it's really up to you how you develop your 2-page thing on what you learned in the class. So the other thing is that I want to make sure that you use some of the elements, the sentence level elements that we worked on this semester. Like, I want to make sure that you're using good sentence focus. And I want to make sure that you use some, at least 3 noun phrase positives. You can see I have that listed down here. 3 noun phrase positives, so you can show me that you're actually working with that sentence level issue as well. Proofread it really well, and then you can just turn it in. Any questions on the final? No? Okay, so that's it. That's all I wanted to share with you guys. And I just have to say that this has been really one of the best semesters of my whole teaching career. I thought when I taught online that it was going to be, it was going to be horrible, that online classes were really bad, and that students wouldn't learn anything because it didn't have the the same kind of features that I would be able to provide with a face-to-face class. But I found that there's so many things I can do in this shell that I couldn't do in a face-to-face class, that I think it's provided an opportunity for you guys to really learn a lot. And I think a lot of you have really learned a lot. So it's been a real great experience for me teaching this semester. And hope to improve my shells next semester. And I hope that people are gonna take my English 5 class if that fits into your career goals, in terms of what you need to do at the next level to take an English 5 class rather than an English 1B class. Then I hope you decide to take my English 5. Okay? So I'll say goodbye then, and thanks a lot for taking my class. Appreciate you being here. Okay? Bye.
Goodbye. Thank you
you.
for
Bye-bye.
teaching us.
You're welcome.
We learned a lot. Thank you. I learned a lot. Yeah.
Good to know. Good to hear. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you